I don't even know where I'm going to start, but I'll figure it out.
Angelus paints that we're just going to splatter on here. I got to grab a toothbrush real quick, just reminding myself. Dremel set and extra brushes, already set up the Dremel. I've got the bad boy in hand, and obviously the sneakers. And then I got sandpaper in different gauges or different grades. So this is a fine, a little bit rougher, and I guess like a mid-grade at the bottom here. I cut them all in half already, as you guys can see. And we're going to get going here. Maybe I should take the laces out first. Start on a low setting.
So I just started off by using the Dremel. Like I said, it's like my first time doing this. So I just went right to it. Basically, I picked like the outsole or the midsole area first, just to get a feel for how the denim was going to start to peel back. Nice little intro to it. Next up, I started working on the toe box a little bit, just coloring a little bit. I will note that it gets a little weird if you use the Dremel for too long because it pulls up too much of the denim. Then I moved to like the seam areas, and I wanted to give it that real frayed look, so I did all of the seams the same way, using just the edge or the tip of the Dremel to just distress and pull up all of those areas. I did that all the way around like the heel cup area, and then I moved on to the back portion where the Jumpman logo is, and I just started distressing all of the raised areas. So as you can see, like basically anything on the Jumpman logo and anything raised above that, and then a little distressing around that area. I believe it was the left shoe. I went a little deeper, a little bit more of a pull area, but overall I just wanted to give it that real like worn down look. And then flip back to the inside. I used the Exacto knife to really fray the rest of the lace area on the inside. I wanted that really stringy feel to the inside of the shoe. I will note using the Exacto knife is probably a little bit easier to get the distressed look than just using the Dremel or sandpaper. You can see on the toe box, I just like make all these long striations across or striations across the top of the toe box. Basically, the more you do that, the more it opens it up. And on this shoe, I used the Dremel. On the other shoe I'll show you, I used just the Exacto knife on the tongue to make all the pulls, and it's a completely different look. But the Dremel gives it it gives it more of a real pulled larger area. Like you can do a larger area with the Dremel as opposed to just getting focus points with the Exacto knife. So I zoom in on the toe box so you can see just how fast the Dremel pulls the denim apart and gives you that distressed look. And then I switched over to the sandpaper. So the sandpaper is a little bit easier to use, I would say, just because you can check the depth as you're doing it. You don't have to, the Dremel, like if you leave it on for too long, like you're just gonna rip it right up. So the sandpaper, you can really do it in layers and keep track of how much distressing you're doing. You can actually see it right here, like as I'm doing the lace area with the Dremel, it pulls really quick. And I was like, oh, let me take a break. I distressed the tongue on this one with the Dremel as well, and like I said, I'll in the later part of the video you'll see the distressing with just the Exacto knife. So I'll let you guys just take a peek at this for a little bit and watch it go. Side note, while we're doing this, using the Dremel, I would definitely suggest using a mask. That is the one thing that I didn't get that I should have got, was a mask for the denim, because the Dremel just kicks all that excess material up in the air. I didn't realize I was breathing all that denim in until after I was done, but it could get a little crazy. So just a heads up and a warning, definitely use a mask. You can see it all around the outside here just from going back and forth in one area. It kicks up quite a bit. The tongue in the upper areas, really just use the Dremel, keep jabbing at it and give it like that real like worked in look. Some of the tongue I just squeezed and pressed for like the actual label, and it gave it a good aged look, so I didn't get too crazy as far as the Dremel on the tag itself. But the outer areas of the tongue, I just continue to use the Dremel, just beating into it, rolling around the sides, fraying the top part of it. It's really easy once you get used to using the Dremel, which really only takes a couple minutes. You can see which nozzles do the most damage. Take a quick little break here so you can see what the difference is. So you got the one I did work on, the one I didn't, and then we get right back into it. Show you the detail that you can get into with the Exacto knife. So the Exacto knife, basically the same thing I did with the toe box. I went back and forth the entire time across the tongue area and just keep making rips. It helps to have something solid behind the tongue. I will make a note for that. So if you have something oddly shaped or flat or thin enough and flat that you could stick inside behind the tongue and then do it, I use my hand. A little bit dangerous because if you poke through, you're gonna cut yourself. But as you can see here, it starts to develop. The more repetitions you do going across a specific area creates this frayed look, and that's kind of what I wanted, and well, it's exactly what I wanted. But using the Exacto knife just makes it a little bit more detailed. You have a little bit more control, like I mentioned a couple times already with the Dremel. But the Dremel, if you leave it for too long or if you press a little too much pressure, you'll just straight rip the material up. So you have to be careful. So if you're looking to give it a more detailed, a more exact approach, the Exacto knife is the tool to use, followed by a little bit of sandpaper. But you can also use the edge of the blade, kind of like a scraping tool as well. So you'll see me do it a couple times, like as I make the pulls come up, I then take the Exacto knife on its blade edge and scrape the material so it takes any of the excess out, and then it pulls a couple of the strings off as well. I'll do it here, so you'll see me just scrape the excess stuff out. It's a great tool to use for this distressing, as a matter of fact. So I hope this is helpful. Period when I came to the paint portion of the shoe. I just know I wanted to have a little bit of paint on it, and I didn't want it to look clean, so I basically just started dabbing stuff all over the shoe and then getting a feel for how I like the way it looked. Like start off small and then expand to where you know that you're happy with it. You know, like if you do a couple dots and you're like, oh, I like the way that looks, and you're done. But I went a little crazy because I wanted a little bit crazy. I actually used the Dremel here to mesh it in a little bit. And then the last part of the video is Aglit Italy. This is Star. I'll throw his Instagram in the description to the video. Aglit Italy, doing the distress laces for the sneaker. Really why I waited to even put this video out is because I wanted those laces. Like I had like a vision of what I wanted the shoe to look like, and I wasn't gonna be happy until it was there. Anyway, shout out to Aglit Italy and Star for coming through for the laces, do a little photo shoot. I'm sure he'll post the footage of at some point on their IG or his IG, but for now, it's a little snippet from the photo shoot. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'm out of here. Peace.